Hey everyone, it's Bob Perkins with aa-isp's Inside Sales Studio, bringing you another Monday Morning Sales Minute. Now I'm here with Bryan Perkins, who is an account manager at SkillSoft. Bryan, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Bob?
I'm doing great. Bryan was at the Boston Digital Sales World event last week. He actually spoke on a panel. And we're going to hear from him next week about the panel, but this week he's going to share a couple of things that he learned at this conference last week. So Bryan, go ahead and share with the viewers about the conference.
Yeah, for sure. First, I just want to say it was a great conference. The energy level was high. The participation was great. Great energy all day. Walked away with a lot of ideas, a lot of feedback, a lot of best practices that were shared from reps and managers alike. But there were two main things that I took away from the conference. And the first one was video. Use of video in prospecting, in your demos, in your monthly strategy calls if you're an account manager like me with your clients. Just use video. I heard a panelist say at the Building a Winning Culture with Your Sales Team say that by default, they enabled video on their, I believe they were using GoToMeeting. By default, they enabled it on their reps GoToMeeting. Now, you had the ability to turn it off, but the default was that the video was going to go live as soon as you launched the application. There was a lot of pushback initially, but they said within 2 weeks, they were loving it. Their prospects were loving it. Their clients were loving it. And it helped get them net new sales and renewals. So I took that away as an action item for me when I came back from the conference, and I'm going to start using video. And I did, and I have. And I'm already having clients. I'm not even saying anything. I'm just turning the video on. And I have clients saying, you know what, I'm going to turn mine on too. And now we're meeting, we get to put a face to the name, much more engaging conversation. And I really hope that down the road, it leads to renewals and a growing business.
Do you find it brings the human element into the equation?
Yep. Yeah, totally. In many cases, these are people that I've spoken to for years over the phone. And yeah, I have a sense of what they look like from LinkedIn, but just it humanizes the conversation. It's much more comfortable. I think people are uncomfortable with video at the first thought, but when you get to see the person you're talking to and see their mannerisms and see their reactions, it makes it a much more comfortable conversation.
It sure does. I call it the next best thing to being there in person. Okay, you said you had a couple of things you took away. What was the other one?
The second one was a quote from Kyle Porter during his talk at the beginning of the conference. And he was talking about prospecting and cold calling. And he said that the only way to cold call is to challenge the buyer's current way of thinking. And that really stuck with me because if you're not going to challenge the status quo, why would anybody want to talk to you? Yeah. It's like, you know what? We're going to challenge the status quo. We're going to challenge your current way of thinking. I'm going to show you something different. I'm going to show you a better way of doing things. And I mean, that's how you're going to get their attention right off the bat. So I've really brought that back with me, and I'm starting to use that in my conversations going forward, not being afraid to challenge the customer's way of thinking. And I think that's important, and we always need to be thinking about what the customer is thinking, but don't be afraid to challenge that as well.
Well, you know what? The two working hand in hand. Use video, challenge them. I think if you go face to face, it's maybe a little easier to kind of look eye to eye and challenge. So, hey, come back again. I know you'll be back next week to talk about the panel you did on best practices for different roles of sales. So we'll look forward to hearing from you next week. Bryan, thanks so much. Everyone, have a great week. Good selling. Bye-bye.